Corporate Team Culture by Deepak Naidu. Establishing norms and values that sustain long-term success. Part 3.
The decision to develop team norms first and then revisit them in the context of subsequent team-building exercises once the team has developed more emotional capacity, or to determine its team norms immediately after discussing and documenting a team credo, is dependent in part on the extent of previous experience team members have with each other. According to Goleman and others who define emotional intelligence, we are more likely to be smart about our emotions when we know ourselves enough to understand accurately our strengths and challenges. For teams, a sense of their real strengths and their real challenges are formed from internal perceptions strengthened by external information and feedback. The key to expanding team self-awareness is the team's ability to gather and integrate as much genuine, unbiased, reality-based internal and external information about itself as it can, and to review this information periodically. Effective teams integrate their operations with accepted quality management systems, which require a team to assess and define satisfactory and excellent performance, and by inference, substandard performance. When an objective, easily measurable performance standard that has a high degree of relevance to what the team does as a group can be set, the team benefits from subsequent information about how well it met this standard. Project teams should elicit client or stakeholder opinions about the team's competence, integrity, level of understanding of the client's challenges, ease of interaction and doing business, ability to follow up on client-raised issues, accessibility and responsiveness, and efficacy of sharing valuable and relevant information. Large measurable successes, such as having the project renewed by the client, receiving a performance bonus from the client for exceeding performance standards, or other victories may warrant a company-sponsored party or celebration. Lessons learned reviews are self-critical processes that help teams consider performance and process-related information that is apparent to members of the group but has not been synthesized as yet. Lessons learned sessions require the members to demonstrate emotional intelligence, to understand that the point of having these meetings is team learning and team self-understanding, rather than individual performance evaluations. Effective teams understand that there is a great deal of value in conducting intermittent retreats that bring members together in an external context to review team values, goals, norms, processes, and any other aspect of team self-awareness that benefits from intermittent review. Taking time for reflection is an important behavior of leaders and successful people, and retreats reinforce this by creating an environment and setting a tone whereby the team can focus on and expand their reflective self-awareness comfortably. Individual emotional literacy among team members can raise the overall emotional literacy of the group as people hear emotional labels and connect them to the shared feeling they perceive. Teams that are highly dedicated to the concept of building team emotional intelligence can distribute lists of emotional words to members or post them in common areas. An individual on a solo assignment may get away with self-centered thinking and behaviors, but a team cannot. It must be other-oriented by the very nature of its purpose and composition. We all want to be cared for. It goes to the very heart of human nature and to the development of close interpersonal bonds. One of the habits of supervisory leadership is applying golden rule principles, treating others the way we would want to be treated by our boss, putting ourselves in others' positions to gain perspective about how they feel in certain circumstances. The starting point for increasing team and team member empathy is simple recognition of what empathy is and why it is such an important skill to develop for those on a team who share a common purpose. The shared behavioral standards of the group must place the highest priority on understanding, on listening, and not on an individual team member's self-centered orientation. Effective teams are attentive to each other and show listening behaviors that support idea sharing and demonstrate that attention is being paid. Team empathy is manifested in understanding that interpretations are not the end, but a means by which teams gain broader understanding by bringing together a set of smaller understandings. Checking perceptions of team members is empathetic because it reflects an understanding that interpretations are only that, a tentative first crack at understanding, which then needs to be reviewed before being assimilated into the team's shared knowledge. Effective teams go around the table to learn how others respond to an interpretation, to make sure that time is allotted to an inclusive process of listening to all input. Team empathy is expressed by non-judgmental attitudes among members, who listen without instantly dismissing what they hear based on personal bias. If team members express anger, disappointment, or even excessive optimism about a team issue, empathetic teams continue to try to understand as opposed to engaging in knee-jerk reactions to the strong emotions they are observing. Members who get calls on their cell phones in a team meeting, and members who carry on side conversations as another member is speaking are common examples of team behaviors that diminish the opportunity for teams to listen empathetically. The most important aspect of a team's empathetic listening is to allow a team member to complete his or her thought without interruption, even when this speaker has paused. When effective empathetic listening becomes part of respective members' interpersonal style, it is far easier for the team to assimilate norms built around the behaviors described previously. Indeed, teams resonate with members when different backgrounds, skill sets, and viewpoints can be effectively integrated into a shared group effort. Effective teams challenge each other, raise what-if questions, explore alternatives, and welcome intra-team performance feedback as a way to assess whether the team is operating at its peak. Effective teams understand that members can express different points of view, but the team needs to focus on understanding the nature of the different positions within the team and not on the individual team members who bring them forth or promote them. Teams need to instill information sharing practices that are relatively blind to roles or positions on the team and spread data and news across the team uniformly and equally. Team morale is built on understanding and executing one's role on the team in coordination with others, and morale dissipates rapidly when a team member has the rug pulled from under him or her. Effective teams are inclusive and are uncomfortable excluding members from any meetings or interactions unless there is a clear and evident reason behind this approach. Team members need to chip in evenly to do the more unpleasant tasks of a project, especially if there are no clear expectations about which member is best suited for the task. Conversely, when all members demonstrate their willingness to be part of chores that everyone acknowledges are tedious or tiresome, then teams build a sense of shared responsibility, regardless of position or role. Differences need to be respected, not just because they are likely to occur in any team comprising different types of people with different skill sets, but also because they add value. Individuals have needs and interests, but one of these needs is to belong. We attribute part of our identity to the groups to which we invest emotional energy. Members depend on the team culture to give the group stability, security, understanding, and the ability to respond to a given situation. Teams thrive when their members can find a way in their norming process to establish standards that promote shared values while allowing members to express creative, group-enhancing aspects of their individual self. Once the team understands why it has formed and what its purposes and objectives are, the next logical focus of team attention is on the process of how are we going to get there. Periodic reviews and updates about a team's norms provide an opportunity for the team to get back in touch with its core values and shared behavioral expectations. Similar to a computer game with a reset button that reverts the game back to its baseline operation, a review of team norms can get all team members back on the same page. Establishing and periodically reviewing team norms has an additional value-adding component. These team development activities reinforce the consequences that apply when team norms are ignored or violated. Teams need to consider and share an understanding, either implicit or explicit, about what the consequences will be for persistent and seemingly intentional violations of team norms. For those of us who participated in any type of team sport, there was always a clear understanding about the consequences of non-adherence to team rules. If you don't conform to them, you don't play. Coaching can draw out skills that may be latent or lacking, but deliberate behaviors that undermine the team's processes and methods are emotionally hostile and must be confronted by the team and its leader acting as a cohesive unit. In particular, teams need to consider and create normative expectations about team courtesy, listening to each other, seeking first to understand, and not interrupting each other in discussions. In general, we recommend that teams create team norms that are broad-based about the more emotional behaviors expected of team members and be relatively specific about team norms tied to mutual accountability. The focus of team norming needs to be on specific team-conforming behaviors that promote time management and communication, as well as emotionally competent group norms focused on managing team relationships. Norming occurs at an early stage of the team's meeting, which establishes shared methods and standards as preeminent in the project leader's team-building methodology. The group needs a system to turn provocative thoughts about a particular problem or challenge into a new pattern of thinking that allows incremental jumps away from old patterns of thinking. Tolerating provocative thoughts in the context of team-based innovation requires emotional intelligence, both from individual team members and the team itself. Effective teams and their members need to be aware that change is an emotional process with exciting rewards if pursued skillfully. The high EI team seeks first to understand, and this attitude tolerates both the expression of different ideas and the unbiased pursuit of the logical implications and ramifications of notions that go against traditional thinking about a problem.